And today we're diving into an absolutely riveting contemporary poetry paper by Alessandro Serpieri on the works of Menotti Lerro. The title's a mouthful. Okay, get ready for this. Un'illusoria fenomenologia di riflessi, illusioni, incubi, which, if my Italian isn't failing me, is basically an illusory phenomenology of reflections, illusions, nightmares. Phew, already sounds intense, right? So, let's get into the big questions Serpieri is tackling through his analysis of Lerro's poetry. So what's at the heart of this paper? Well, Serpieri basically asks, what's really going on beneath the surface of Lerro's poetry? What does it mean when a poet describes the world as a theatre of shadows, illusions, nightmares? And what does that suggest about our own search for truth and meaning? Why does it matter? Well, I mean, who among us hasn't wondered what's real and what's just, a passing reflection? Maybe especially at 3 a.m. while staring at the ceiling. So if you care at all about how poetry can help us process the big, weird questions of existence, this paper's up your alley. Serpieri zooms in on how Lerro's poems open with a bang. There's a piece literally titled The Truth of Shadows. It sets the tone for the whole collection, directly confronting the idea that what we think we see is just the surface, maybe even a feverish illusion. Daylight seems trustworthy, right, but Serpieri argues that Lerro pits the brightness of day against the heavy, impenetrable night, a kind of battle between what we want to be obvious and what's eternally mysterious, or, well, possibly not even real. Let that sink in. How does Serpieri explore this? He wanders, almost obsessively, through Lerro's recurring images, night and day, reflections, mirrors, illusions, childhood memories, and these poignant parental figures, a father trying to pass on the secrets of life and death, a mother searching for broader horizons, even in the midst of daily chores. But every time you see this tension, one moment reaching for meaning, the next moment collapsing into despair at, the sheer materiality of existence. Our bodies, our memories, just atoms and molecules on their way, inevitably to breakdown and disintegration. Serpieri even points to moments where redemption might come through writing itself. But Lerro undercuts that too. It's never actually an escape, more like burned testimony written on black paper, bleeding, desperate, haunted by absence. And here's a fascinating thing, and look, this is the kind of thing that I love about academic analysis. Serpieri's not just saying, oh wow, gloom and doom, poetry is sad. No, he's pointing out Lerro's technical virtuosity, the careful rhythm, the structure, the surprising images. These aren't just for effect. They're how the poetry bears the weight of these philosophical questions. There's even a whole digression in Serpieri's review about the Spanish translation, which apparently almost captures Lerro's impact in Italian, but, well, maybe falls a hair short, makes you think about how much gets lost or found in translation. Actually, come to think of it, I once tried to translate a poem for a friend, and I'm not sure if it made him cry or just wince at my French accent, so there's that. Back to the paper. What does all this mean for you, the listener? Well, Serpieri isn't just saying, hey, here's a poet having a bad day. He's holding up Lerro's verses like a mirror to all of us. How do we process loss? Do our memories keep loved ones alive, or are they just fleeting shadows? Are we somehow wearing masks all the time? Layers and layers, maybe even a final mask no one can see until, well, the end? Are the stories we tell ourselves actually helping us live, or are they just ways of fending off the darkness? Big stuff, right? And as always, I gotta underline, Serpieri is making an argument, not laying down ultimate truth. Academic work opens doors, it doesn't shut them. You're absolutely encouraged to read Lerro yourself, sit with those images and ask, how do you see your memories, your dreams, your fears? Are you closer to shadow or light or somewhere in between? So, just to wrap, this paper, by examining Menotti Lerro's poetic world, invites us to think about how language and memory create, well, or sometimes unravel, our sense of self. It's a reminder that every academic work is more of a flashlight in a dark cave than a blueprint for the cave itself. You don't have to agree with Serpieri or with Lerro, but maybe next time a poem stops you in your tracks, ask what illusions or reflections you might be seeing. Thanks for joining me.